Okay, that looks way better than my last video. Wow. 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 Today! In this day of insane graphics card prices and RAM prices and the emergence of the console as the budget option of choice for gamers out there. I can't believe I'm even saying that. What those of us who are dedicated and loyal to the hobby of PC building and PC gaming do? Where do we find savings and where do we find value in all that other bullshit? Now, you all have known about my love for this particular mouse in years past. This is what I would consider to be the best budget gaming mouse on the market. It is the Thermaltake Talon Blue. It is about $25 here in Canada, about 20 bucks in the United States. Comes with an Avago sensor, 2 Omron switches for the left and right clicks, and it is absolutely fantastic for the money that you're paying, and other reviewers agree with me. I'm sure if you do some Googling, you'll find that out. It's pretty much the only mouse in this price category or less that will give you this kind of quality and performance. Anyway, Thermaltake, being a company that is of variable quality, to say the least, depending on the product that you're buying, has come out with a complement or replacement to the Talon Blue, I guess, or an update maybe, depends on how you look at it. And it is called the Talon X. What's different about the Talon X over its counterpart? Well, I guess let's start the video and find out. Okay, I have the camera on the same desk as the sample here, so I'm gonna try my best not to shake the fucking camera. Anyway, let's unbox it, because that's what all the kids love, unboxing. Opening a mouse box with a nail file. Never felt so good. Yeah! Ooh, look at this. Okay, so first thing of note, this product only comes as a mouse pad and mouse combo, which is kind of bullshit. You pay $4 American more for this mouse pad, and I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the mouse pad, but it's a mouse pad, and it seems okay. I really wish they would release a standalone version of this product, because it seems like it would cost more or less the same thing, and would probably sell for about the same price as the Talon Blue if they were to do that, but I digress. Okay, documentation, some foam, stupid more documentation, and what looks like the mouse in the tray. You need a tray? No, I do not need a tray. I do not need a tray to kill you, for I am Braided. Okay, so before we plug it in, before we start playing with the mouse itself while it's working, I will make a couple of points. First impressions, braided cable. Let's see if you can get a good look at that. Ooh. And next to the Talon Blue, as you can see, there's the braided cable from the Talon Blue. So yeah, it's comparable anyway. I certainly I'm no knitting expert. First thing I'd like to note before I actually plug them in and illuminate them with all their light and glory, texture has changed. On this mouse, we have the texture of the majority of the body being this softened, plasticky, textured feeling. Same on the Drevo Caliber keycaps that I reviewed a few videos back. On the Talon X, it looks like they just went with the semi-gloss, kind of a matte finish, I guess. It's not quite as shiny as plastic can be. Obviously, some front panel acrylics on some cases can be really shiny and attract fingerprints like nuts. This is not that shiny, but it's definitely smoother. I would suspect that no matter what, because it's all ABS plastic construction, you're probably going to get shine marks from repeated use like you do with every other mouse that you ever use. But this one will probably look a little better doing so, considering it's already kind of glossy all over. A couple of other important notes. So one thing that they've fixed, and you can't really see it, but I'll give you guys a shot here. So the upper body piece on the Talon Blue has a very sharp edge to it with a space that separates the top from the bottom. And when I say sharp, it doesn't mean like, it doesn't like, you know, you'll cut your fucking fingers on it or anything, but it's kind of annoying. The Talon X still has that separation between bottom body piece and top body piece, but it seems they've eliminated the severity of that edge. Next, let's talk about something that was a very specific bugaboo for me with the Talon Blue. The lift-off capability of the Talon Blue always felt a little weird to me. There's no grippy substance here other than the plastic itself. And the plastic itself, because of the softness of it, it is, you know, a fair bit more grabbable. But I always felt that whenever I picked it up, it just slid a little bit too liberally through my fingers. The Talon X seems to have corrected that. Now, they went with a smoother material, which means it's going to be a little bit more slippery, but they added these little hexagonal bumpy bits here. And it's more balanced too. The Talon Blue, when you lift it up, it feels a little top heavy. Like I lift it and it tilts forward. You do that from the same point here, and nothing happens. And the last point I want to make before we move on is about the scroll wheels. So the Talon Blue uses a standard solid back with the scroll wheel exposed at the front only. But the Talon X employs the full exposed scroll wheel. Front and back and top. You see it all the way through. You can stick your finger in there. I've always been skeptical of this because it seems like it would just attract a lot more dirt and dust. But at the same time, now that I'm seeing it in person, I'm realizing that it's a wide enough gap to really put a nozzle of a you know, canned air fucking unit in there, just blast it out. So maybe it's actually better for cleanliness. It just means that you'll have to clean it more. I'm not really convinced. I'm not sure. Let's give it some time, and maybe when on the revisit I'll talk about that more. But it certainly looks cool like this. Like, this looks like a wheel on a Tonka truck. It's great. It's just that rubber texture to it. It just brings back childhood memories. And it's flat topped too, which I really like. I don't like ones that are curved at the top. I like flat top scroll wheels. Both of these have that. They're both textured. I'm finding that the scroll wheel is actually much stiffer on this in terms of the tactile bumps, which I like, because I'm the sort of person that uses the mouse wheel for things like item selection in game, and that you want the staggered feeling of it. You don't want it to be super smooth. This one has a little bit of tactile feedback, the Talon Blue in the original version. This one is very rigid, and I like that. Listen to that. Can you hear that? Versus the Talon Blue, which is like, yeah, much quieter, much more subtle. Anyway, without fucking up recording, let's plug them in and see how the fucking lighting looks, because I know that's what y'all came here for. You want to get that RGB goodness. Well, this is what happens when you connect 3 mice to the same computer. Now, with regards to the lighting on the Talon Blue, you really have 2 options. You can either have static, you can have breathing, or I mean, I guess you can have off, but if you're going to use the lighting, you pretty much only get 2 options, and of course it's blue. On the Talon X, we have RGB lighting, and I'm actually very impressed with the implementation of the RGB lighting. First thing I'll say between the 2 mice, in terms of just the illumination, the light's a lot more balanced on the Talon X. It looks like the central lights they have inside this thing glow pretty equally all around in the translucent parts where light can pass through. There are not a lot of dark spots, so it's pretty consistent. As for the Talon Blue, one thing about it I didn't like was that maybe it's the density of the plastic they use, the material, but there's a lot of patches on it that are lighter and darker than in other spots. And of course, there's going to still be that on the Talon X, but as you can see, I mean, the camera is actually picking it up pretty well. There's some difference in the light quality, of course, but it's a lot less so than this. I mean, side by side, you can see it. It's apparent, obvious. That's where the comparison can really end here, because this does not have RGB lighting. So there's not really a hell of a lot else to say about the Talon Blue itself. So let's just get it off the table here and focus solely on the Talon X going forward. So the Talon X, very simple RGB implementation that is very easy to control without the use of software, and I like to see that. Here's how it works. You hit the DBI switch, and you can change the rate of the breathing with the side buttons. So you can go with faster breathing by hitting the up button plus the DPI switch, or you can slow down the breathing. I don't know how far it slows down, but you just hit it a bunch of times. There's really not a hell of a lot of difference between the 2. I don't think anyone's going to use the breathing feature, to be perfectly honest. I think this is exactly the kind of thing that people will disable after a while, because it gets to be kind of tedious, boring, and annoying, even if you're a 14-year-old pumped full of sugar and adrenaline. So, on to the static colors. Now, unfortunately, as far as I know, there's no way you can change the intensity of the light, so it's going to be this bright no matter what. That's what you get with a $25 mouse. But you can change the color, and you can actually change it fairly accurately to match the rest of your rig, which is what you want. And you do that by doing this. DPI switch plus the scroll mouse will stop it at the given color that it is cycling through. It's that simple. So all you gotta do is put it through cycling mode, wait until you get a color that best matches your shit, and boom, there's my Razer Naga right next to the Thermaltake Talon X. And as you can see, pretty goddamn close. And of course, the best part about this mouse is that you get 2 Omron switches for the left and the right click, and an Avago 3050 sensor, just like in the Talon Blue. Here's me playing some Ziggurat with the DPI settings at the lowest and the mouse sensitivity in game at the highest, to give you an example of the kind of tracking accuracy you can expect. And from what you can see, it's pretty goddamn good. There is no stuttering, no glitching out, nothing like that. just smooth motion in every direction, no matter how fast and how far I move the mouse. Something that cannot be said for the piece of shit mice you'll find on Amazon for $5. So long story short, if all you need is a mouse, then obviously go to Dollar Tree and buy one. But if you want a gaming mouse with good quality parts, long lasting life, durability, tracking accuracy, and all that good stuff, you will not find a better deal than what the Talon series will offer. And this being the third iteration in that series is a triumph. I cannot find a hell of a lot wrong with it, and I can find a fuck of a lot of things right with it. So Thermaltake, as where your cases might be rip-offs of other companies, and your power supplies may be of fantastic quality, or the kind of quality that would burn down my house, gotta give you credit. Budget mice seem to have on lock. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and remember to tune in next time for more partial nudity.